Hello. So I am back to release this word. I have been trying to get this out to y'all. The enemy, honey, he is so mad, but oh well, so be it. And he know that this is going to touch so many. So of course he tried to stop. But let me get to this. So the Lord wants me to first start by letting you all know that about a situation with a friend of mine, a coworker. He has connected us together. He has spoken to me about this person. And so let me just get into it. Her and her husband were planning, well, they're still planning to do this, but they're going to have a destination wedding in 2024. They chose to get married in December of 22, and they wanted to, do the ceremony for their grandparents as well that are up in age, instead of waiting to 24. They both received, some gifts from parents and their grandparents. So they opened they opened a joint account. Okay. So in January, my coworker contacted me and told me that her husband's car had been stolen out of their parking lot. So they went through so much with even trying to track it with OnStar. Wasn't successful. Issues with their his insurance, because they are from Pennsylvania, and it was just all this confusion that was going on. He travels, and after 3 months, after 3 years, they always have to pick up and move with his job. So they are currently in Michigan, and this is where it took place. So, she had told me that, and we had just been talking about that, prayed for them and their situation, and just waited for the Lord to just speak to me about it. And, she was complaining at the time about like how tired she was, and she was having to get up to take him to work and do this, and his hours were already kind of crazy and things like that. And just he had me encourage her to just hold on. There were times she was just wondering, like, did we do something wrong? Were we not supposed to get married and things like that? So and of course I had to ensure her, like, no, the Lord is saying that you all done nothing wrong. This is just an attack of the enemy. So today she called and informed me that that bank account that they had opened together, that the person had stole his car because some of the information was in his car, had took $10,000 out of the account. So I could hear it in her voice where she was about to cry and stuff, which, it will hurt anyone. And this is a younger couple that are, trying to get on their feet. And, so the Lord had just began to minister to me, to speak to her and release to her that, this attack is from the enemy, but it was sent because the enemy is so against marriages. And the Lord just ministered to me that this is what most of you all are going to go through as well. Once he brings this together, whether you're waiting on a spouse to return or, and I'm so sorry that it cut off. I have to hurry up because I did not bring my charger in here. But, and if I have to go get it, I will. But he is just saying that this is what, many will go through when he brings this back together. The enemy is so against marriages, and he is going to be trying you. Just like he is trying them, having them second guess whether this was something they were supposed to do. And the Lord is saying, yes, he joined those two together. Yes, this is what they were supposed to do. And, she just kept saying, since we've been married, it's been one thing after another. Of course. Girl, Girl, of course. Satan is upset. He is tired of us winning. He's tired of this winning team right here, the Lord's winning team. So of course he's going to be upset, and he's going to continue to throw different things at you all, at her and her marriage. But the Lord is just saying, stay grounded in him. Spend time with him. This is going to help mold that relationship between the two of them. And like he said, he told me he referenced Job when I was speaking to her. He said the same way Job was tested, I allowed all of that to take place with Job. He said, but let her know that, yeah, they may have took 10, but I'm about to increase them. I'm hitting them with double. They going to get all that back plus some. So let her know that. And so I spoke that to her, and, you know, it definitely turned some things around for her. And, you know, that's what the enemy does. He tries to test us and try our faith and trying to see if we will turn away from God. But no, you have to stay grounded in him. And that's why he sends divine connections to us to intercede on our behalf. You know, when we're weak, those that he has brought into our life are supposed to help pick us up. They are supposed to speak life into our situations and not death, okay? They're not to be naysayers and say, oh, yeah, you know, I told you so. When was the last time you seen God come through? You don't need those people on your team. You don't need people that are going to keep speaking about, you know, things that happened that, you know, went left or something. You need people that are going to speak life into you and into your situation. And speaking life is the word, the living word, okay? We ain't speaking death over here. And so that's what he wanted me to share with you all. And along with that, he wanted me to share a word he gave me yesterday. So I need to get on. I can read this one. Yeah. Okay, so he wants me to share a word he gave me yesterday. And also I'm going to read some things. So I have 2 sets of notes. So, and I'm itching some kind of terrible, especially my face. But we are going to get this out. So the Lord is saying that Satan is upset. The enemy is upset. Why? Because the Lord has won. There has been a victory. And you but to claim that victory. You better understand that the victory, the battle has been won. Victory is here. And he is saying the enemy has lost. Victory is the Lord's. Good things are coming. New beginnings this month. A month to remember. You'll see. Watch and see. A month to remember. He said, many are breaking free. They are breaking free from the chains that were on them, the chains that the enemy had on them. He said they are breaking free. He said, you made it. He's not only saying I made it, he's saying you made it as well. Many have made it. And then he says, you're about to show the world, you're about to testify of what the Lord has done. Your story will be a testimony of God's work. And he said, victory is mine. And he said, you are covered. So he wanted me to share with you all Joshua chapter 5, verses 13 through 15. And then I'm going to read all of chapter 6. So I'm going to get started before I get interrupted. So it says, now when Joshua was near Jericho, he looked up and saw a man standing in front of him with a drawn sword in his hand. Joshua went up to the man and asked, are you for us or are you for our enemies? And then it says, excuse me, neither, he replied, but as commander of the army of the Lord, I have now come. Y'all better catch this, because this is good. I have now come. Then Joshua fell face down to the ground in reverence and asked him, what message does my Lord have for his servant? The commander of the Lord's army replied, take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy. And Joshua did so. You have crossed over. If you ain't caught nothing else, understand you have crossed over. And this is not for all. This is for some. You should know. Spend time with the Lord. And he will minister this to you. He will confirm. Chapter 6 says, now the gates of Jericho were securely barred because of the Israelites. No one went out and no one came in. Then the Lord said to Joshua, see, I have delivered Jericho into your hands. Along with its kings and its fighting men, march around the city once with all the armed men. Do this for 6 days. The Lord gave me this on February 6th. Have 7 priests carry trumpets of rams, horns in front of the ark. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times. On the 7th day, if you don't shout, but shout when he tells you to shout, because you're going to want to shout with this word. He said, on the 7th day, march around the city 7 times with the priests blowing trumpets. When you hear the sound, when you hear them sound a long blast on the trumpets, have the whole army give a loud shout. When the wall of the city will collapse. Let me slow down, because I'm just throwing stuff in there. And he said, don't add to it or take from it, right? And I'm somewhere getting excited, adding stuff. So let me go back. I'm at 5. Chapter 6, verse 5. And it says, when you hear them sound a long blast on the trumpets, have the whole army give a loud shout. Then the wall of the city will collapse and the army will go up, everyone straight in. So Joshua, son of, I don't know if y'all catching this, but you got to know that with your breakthrough, with that promise, there are so many other people that are attached to it, that are around you. That's why it is so good for you. It is best for you to follow instructions. And follow the instructions the Lord gives to you, not others. Excuse me. So Joshua, son of Nun, called the priests and said to them, take up the ark of the covenant of the Lord and have 7 priests carry trumpets in front of it. And he ordered the army, advance, march around the city with an armed guard going ahead of the ark of the Lord. When Joshua had spoken to the people, the 7 priests carrying the 7 trumpets before the Lord went forward, blowing their trumpets, and the ark of the Lord's covenant followed them. The armed guard marched ahead of the priests who blew the trumpets, and the rear guard followed the ark. All this time the trumpets were sounding, but Joshua had commanded the army, do not give a war cry. Do not raise your voices. Do not say a word. Do not say a word until the day I tell you to shout. Do you understand this? If the Lord told you to be quiet about a thing that he is doing for you, shut your big mouth, okay? Don't you tell a word don't you say a word to anyone until the Lord tells you to. Yes, he said, do not give a war cry. Do not raise your voices. Do not say a word until the day I tell you to shout. Then shout. So he had the ark of the Lord carried around the city, circling it once. Then the army returned to the camp and spent the night there. And this is why, and he's speaking, he said, do not open your mouth, because there's an enemy in the camp. There's an enemy in every single camp. And if you blurt stuff out before it's time, it is a chance that enemy will, you follow me. Joshua got up with 6:12. Joshua got up early the next morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. The 7 priests carrying the 7 trumpets went forward, marching before the ark of the Lord and blowing the trumpets. The armed men went ahead of them, and the rear guard followed the ark of the Lord while the trumpets kept sounding. So on the second day, they marched around the city once and returned to the camp. They did this for 6 days. On the 7th day, they got up at daybreak and marched around the city 7 times in the same manner, except that on that day they circled. Except on that day, the Lord switched it up. Except on that day, they circled the city 7 times. The 7th time around, when the priests sounded the trumpet blast, Joshua commanded the army, "Shout! For the Lord has given you the city. The city and all that is in it are to be devoted to the Lord. Only Rahab, the prostitute, and all who are with her in her house shall be spared, because she hid the spies we sent." Only Rahab and her family. They are people that are attached to this breakthrough, to this blessing that has your name on it. But you have to hear and listen to the Lord when he tells you certain people can come with you and certain people can't. You can't attach all these people to you. Oh, I get so excited. God is so good. He's so good. Yeah. Where were we at? Okay. Rahab. So we're at 18 now, and it says, "But keep away from the devoted things, so that you will not bring about your own destruction by taking any of them." Okay? Some things you're going to have to let go of. You're going to have to let go of. But guess what? You're going to get all that back. You can get it back. Otherwise, you will make the camp of Israel liable to destruction and bring trouble on it. Y'all better be listening. 19, all the silver and gold and the articles of bronze and iron are sacred to the Lord and must go into his treasury. All right, we're at 20. When the trumpet sounded, the army shouted, and at the sound of the trumpet, when the men gave a loud shout, the wall collapsed. So everyone charged straight in, and they took the city. They devoted the city to the Lord and destroyed with the sword every living thing in it. Men and women, young and old, cattle, sheep, and donkeys. Joshua said to the 2 men who had spied out the land, "Go into the prostitute's house and bring her out, and all who belong to her, in accordance with your oath to her." Y'all make this promise to her. And we holding on to this thing. Rahab helped us. We standing on this. The Lord already said she good to go. Tell her, pack up, bring her family. Like I said, there are going to be people, the Lord is saying, they can come with you, and some that cannot. And spend time with him. He should have already spoken this to you. I'm sure he has. And you need to follow the instructions that the Lord has given to you. So the young men who had done the spying went in and brought out Rahab, her father and mother, her brothers and sisters, and all who belonged to her. They brought out her entire family and put them in a place outside the camp of Israel. They then burned the whole city and everything in it. But they put the silver and gold and the articles of bronze and iron into the treasury of the Lord's house. But Joshua spared Rahab the prostitute with her family and all who belonged to her, because she hid the men Joshua had sent as spies to Jericho, and she lives among the Israelites to this day. At that time, Joshua pronounced this solemn oath: "Cursed before the Lord is the one who undertakes to rebuild this city, Jericho." Don't you go putting your hands on nothing, on anything that the Lord has told you to walk away from, unless he tells you to rebuild something. Okay. At the cost of his firstborn son, he will lay its foundations, At the cost of his youngest, he will set up its gates. 27 says, so the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame spread throughout the land. The Lord has already told you, you're about to be elevated. There's an elevation. You will be saving many nations. He is doing this now, right now. Excuse me. So, that is what the Lord wanted me to share with that word. Please take this back to him and allow him to speak to you, minister this to you. I done lost my place of where I'm supposed to be at. Okay. All right. I'm back there. So also, he wanted me to share with you all some more from the notes. The Lord is saying it is a celebration. Today is the 7th day of February. This is a victorious day. That it is so much that is going on. And you need to spend time with the Lord. I can't say that enough. Spend time with him, spend time with him, spend time with him. And he will speak to you and guide you and let you know where you are. You should know which season you are in. He will speak it to you. So if you don't know, you're not spending enough time with him. The Lord is saying that he said he will cover you. He will cover you through the storm. No rain will touch you. Everything will get better. You have crossed over. You have crossed over. Everything is going to get better for you. He said, just keep going. Have faith. Continue to have faith. Hold on. And allow the Lord to lead you. He said he will lead you everywhere. He is taking you to different places. He is saying he is taking you to different places, but you have to listen to his instructions. He says, my decree, you will be receiving apologies. He said you are to forgive. You are to forgive. These apologies are going to be coming from people that may have done some things wrong to you in the past. You are not to dwell on the past. You need to forgive. The Lord has already worked with you on forgiveness. If you feel as though you still lacking in some areas, you need to spend time with him and allow him to do the work in you. And you have to lay it down. Lay it all down. Let the Lord know. Speak to him. You need to have that intimate connection with him, that relationship with him. Holding back from the Lord is only going to hold up your process. That's what I hear so loud and clear right now. And he said, you'll know that these apologies that are coming, you'll know that they will be real and authentic because they will be of him. You are to help. You're going to be a helper, a helpmate. You need to listen, and you will be teaching throughout this process. Excuse me. The Lord says, pay attention to your surroundings. You are being watched. He said, move forward. Continue to move forward. He has been speaking about moving forward. When I was speaking to my son last night, we were having a conversation, and the Lord brought me back to that today when he gave me this word I mentioned to my son that, not to dwell on the past, and to forgive those that have hurt him, whether it's in friendships or anything. And with moving forward in life, I used a windshield, and I told him in a rearview mirror, It's a reason why the rear view mirror is small, and like the objects that you see, if you continue to look as you're going forward into the rear view mirror, everything appears so much smaller, and then it just disappears and you forget all about it. So the windshield is big because that's your future. That's the way that the Lord is leading you, and you need to follow. You need to follow, and it's so much bigger and so much better. And you have to learn to forget the past. Let that go. Forgive those who hurt you. And understand that with your forgiveness, it's only going to unlock something else. The Lord is going to open. We got to hurry up because this phone is really trying to dial me. So he wanted me to read this as well and then share one more thing with you all. So I'm going to read Genesis 19, verses 24 through 26. This is the Message. I made a post Sunday in my community post in the community tab. And it says, Then God rained brimstone and fire down on Sodom and Gomorrah, a river of lava from God out of the sky, and destroyed these cities and the entire plain, and everyone who lived in the cities and everything that grew from the ground. But Lot's wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. I don't know who in their right mind would want to look back after they'd seen this lava, fire just dropping left and right. What you looking back for when you got everything right here and you know what's ahead? You know what the Lord has told you. She couldn't even follow her husband, who the Lord had placed to lead her. She looked back. Don't look back and be Lot's wife and turn into that pillar of salt, because Lot did not look back and say, well, oh, baby girl, please come on. No. Lot kept on going. That's what you need to do. Keep going. The Lord had gave me a dream. This was a few weeks ago. And in the dream, I was canceling an appointment for my husband that was on 127. And the receptionist told me no, that she couldn't do it. She said he has to show. She said this is his appointed time. And it's on 127. Y'all better catch all of this. So, hung up the phone with her. She had told me, she said it can't be pushed out no further. This is the appointed time right now. Hung up the phone with her, and I'm turning to go on a bridge. As I'm on this bridge, I happened to look in my rearview mirror. Everything was getting smaller and turning gray. As I proceed on this bridge, I'm trying to take in the scenery, because the more I go, the better it's looking. Do y'all hear me? Do you catch me? I'm seeing grass that is greener and beautiful than I've ever seen before. There's a stork flying past me, carrying something in cloth. With the green is also this beautiful color of pink. Y'all better catch everything that I'm saying to you right now. So as I'm crossing over this bridge, I'm trying to put my foot on the brake to slow down to take it all in, and the car would not stop. The car continued to go. Once I reached the final end of the bridge, everything was beautiful. Do you hear me? I had never had a dream so vivid and beautiful in my life. There has been an elevation, and I'm not no dreamer, but the Lord has changed some things, okay? The Lord knows that I don't mind sleeping through the night, honey, and not getting up recording nothing, a thing, but things are changing. There's been an elevation, and I am here to receive it all that He has for me. They need to chill. All that He has for me. So let me cut the sound off. But I wanted to share that with you all, and I hope that you understand this word. Hope it wasn't too fast. I'm still working, but I feel as though I delivered everything and shared everything with you all that the Lord wanted me to. Of course, spend time with Him. He loves you so much, so much. The Lord loves each and every one of us. And I love you. And that's all I have. So I will be back. But bye. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.